Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me at CGB. Today I'm playing Black-White Lifegain in Standard. This deck has so many options and I've added a ton of them, between a number of different legendary creatures from the past several sets, to a number of different ways to trigger Lifegain, to an interesting mana base. We can do it all with Black-White Lifegain. Some of the absolute all-stars that the deck really doesn't run without are cards that get bigger when you gain life. Those would be Ajani's Pridemate, Essence Channeler, Amalia, this Vampire Scout. It explores when you gain life. Very exciting card, and those are really the crux of the deck. Another way to take advantage of life gain is to use Starscape Cleric, which makes the opponent lose 1 life whenever you gain life. Then on top of that, we want things that trigger life gain early, often, and from doing things we already want to do, like playing creatures. So we have Case of the Uneaten Feast, which gains life whenever a creature enters, and Hinterland Sanctifier, which are creatures that gain life whenever a creature enters. On top of that, Runelurker Bat flies over the opponent's defenses and hits the opponent with lifelink, which gains you life. Shelter by Ghosts is one of our removal spells of choice that gives whatever creature it's enchanted on lifelink. Really good on an already large Ajani's Pridemate to make sure that the life gain continues. And we have one more absolutely clutch combination of card draw and life gain, which is Halea, Guided by Light. This 3-mana 3/3 has Warp for 1, which means it can come out onto the battlefield just temporarily for 1 white mana, and whenever this or another creature enters, you gain life, similar to our other cards. But at the beginning of your end step, if you've gained 3 or more life this turn, draw a card. And that card draw is important to keep the engine running and find more pressure. Now, if that engine does slow down, because it's a very interactive format in Standard, we have other ways to get value, like Enduring Innocence, a 2/1 lifelinker that when a small creature, of which we have many, enters, you draw a card, and Zoraline, the Cosmos Caller, which gains life whenever this or a bat attacks, but can also pay a white and a black and 2 life to get a creature out of our graveyard. Speaking of getting creatures out of our graveyard, we have Raise the Past, which is a go over the top kind of bring everything back if the opponent has a habit, we'll say, of blowing up our little creatures. And Exemplar of Light is another card draw effect. It is 4 mana, and we are a very low to the ground aggressive deck, so we don't want a lot of cards that cost 4 mana. But one Exemplar of Light can often get the job done by getting counters, just like Ajani's Pridemate does, and drawing a card whenever we gain life for the first time each turn and put a counter on this. Servandum's another cool recent legendary with Vigilance and Menace. It gets bigger when our creatures die, so it triggers in a very different way from all of the other enters triggers. Lunar Convocation is potential card draw. You pay 2 life to draw a card, but also has other text that makes bats, as long as we are losing life and gaining life in the same turn, which this deck is good at because of the mana base. Another card that rewards that is Essence Channeler. When you lose life, it gains Flying and Vigilance, which is actually really huge for attacking with this giant bat. And to lose life, we turn to our lands, because we have 4 starting towns, 4 multiversal passage, and 4 godless shrines. All of these lands give us the option to lose life to get the mana we need at the time we want it, but losing life in this case often means making a Flying Essence Channeler, which isn't such a bad thing, and our life gain offsets it very well. Deep Cavern Bat as a 1-of also comes out, gets in the opponent's hand, and takes that board wipe right before they would use it. Can be very good. Get Lost, a little additional removal just to keep our opponent off balance and answer all kinds of permanents, and 1 Authority of the Consuls. We can't always guarantee that our opponent is going to play a lot of creatures to give us life gain, but when they do, Authority puts them in a heck of a bind where playing their creatures, not only can they not block, but they grow our creatures, and that really makes some people salty. So if you don't mind playing with a lot of different life gaining shenanigans and getting value all over the place, I think I've got a cool deck for you. There's so many interesting life gain strategies and cards in Standard and different ways to build the deck, from all in on Raise the Past to a bat type of theme, but I like this one that touches on a little bit of everything, keeps the opponent guessing, and finds ways to win a game. So let's dive in and let the life gain nonsense begin. And mana is great. Bunny Wabbit gain life, Case gain life, Lunar gain life. The beginning of your end step, if you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Shelter by Ghosts of Zoraline. Yep. it does life gain things. This is the most life gainy possible hand. Maybe not ever, but it certainly does the thing the deck is here for. If the opponent is control-y, we draw cards. If they're not control-y, we gain life, sheltered by ghosts, and make them unable to kill us. All right, game on. Start with the case, because it gains a life off the Wabbit. Ooh, love to see Amalia here. One blue open. Let's go for it now. Try to dig up more land. And we hit right away. This will enter tapped right now, though, because we don't have a plains. Artifacts. What do we need to do about artifacts? Kill them quickly. That's what. All right, starting town is pretty good. Sheltered by ghosts is not the play, but here we can run this combo with starting town. We can go here and we can pay 1 life to make white, and the 1 life is important for lunar conviction. You'll see why in a moment. The sanctifier gains a life, makes the Amalia trigger. The lunar conviction says at the beginning of your end step, if you gained life, they lose 1, and if you lost life, make a 1/1. So we do the things and gain the life, and wow, that's a lot of land in a row. But then finally the card draw engine, Helaya, guided by light, is here. Wait, what are you doing? Star Cage, no, my stuff. At least I get to keep my enchantments, which is one reason to run them. By the way, this is a deck where you're better off with auto order turned on, as the whole game flows a little better. So now what? We have Zoraline. We have nothing to get back, but we want to have that board presence. We also have Guided by Light. Let's pay the life so that we continue to use our Lunar Conviction. Let's warp out Helaya. Life. We need to play an untapped land, then play Zoraline. Life. And that's going to be enough to draw a card and trigger the conviction. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we are at work. And the Star Cage over there can be removed to get us back the Sanctifier and the Amalia. We are getting a lot of land. And with no creatures in the graveyard, this won't make a creature. The conviction can draw cards, though. That's pretty good. And there's a snare. They are really fighting me off, but at least they're not making any constructs yet. How do I have so many lands? All right, I need more life. I guess this is the best way to do it. Play you. I'm gonna lose some life here. Gonna shelter by Ghost the Bat to get the Star Cage to get back these. The opponent will draw a card. I'm going to gain so much life though, and I have a lot of land apparently to tear my way through. I'll keep the innocence. Swing, more life gain. Trigger. Do you like triggers? I got a deck for you. Oh my goodness, they're at 13. We solved our case. So if they actually kill something instead of exiling it, we can play from the graveyard. Yeah, that was a thing that could definitely happen. Here we go again. They did get an empty Star Cage. That's nice. And they have 2 mana open. So this could be a card called Spring Sawblades. Something Sawblades. Spring something Sawblades. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. Again, at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, they lose 1. At the beginning of your end step, if you lost life, make a 1/1. Yeah, so attacking here might be bad. This entering gains and gains and gains and gains. Yeah, the Sawblades card, something Sawblades. 2 mana flash kills something that is tapped. Let's offspring the cleric. And the held priority there, and I don't see another reason to hold priority, implies that they might have it, which would kill my lovely guided by light card drawing machine. Anyway, that was fun. Look at how much damage this does when we make 2 of these with 2 life gainers on the battlefield. We don't need to lose life again. Let's just play this tapped starting town and not attack. Play around the saw blades. See? They're very distraught. They thought they had a cool play, but they don't, because I did not tap my card. And then on end step, we get to do all this, which is going to trigger all this again, and I believe bring them all the way to 1 and 0. So you saw their life total. We burned them out completely with 2 Starscape clerics and 2 ways to gain life when they entered. Pretty epic. We are on the play. We have Amalia. We don't have a life gain source outside of the Shelter by Ghost, but I'll keep it. It's the life gain deck. It tends to draw those things. Also, we could have double ward on Amalia. That's a way to gain life. What you got? If this is a blue-white artifact deck, it'll be the 3rd one in a row. And even if it's just a blue-white deck, it will be the 3rd blue-white deck in a row. Some days of Magic be this way. All right, well, I don't have a life gain source, and I don't have a land, so I'm going right to work with Shelter by Ghosts. Kind of an unconventional way to do it, but it did work. I hit my land drop. Okay, blue-white control this time, probably board wipes. Our only life gain source right now is the Amalia itself, which is not good. Let's let them discard to their hand size because they did that on the draw. And a multiversal passage. Let's deploy 1 Chandler. Attack. Another one. I'll put that in the graveyard because of Raise the Past. I really need a way to gain life. I really do. I think I'll just play this and pay on black and pay 2. Give the opponent the impression I have something here. Really all it is a get lost, which isn't particularly great. They're going to play some Graveyard Hate and Rest in Peace. That is a card. So that shuts off our Raise the Past. Let's see if they have a counter spell for Get Lost. They probably do from the way they tapped mana. That's the way it goes, but there wasn't going to be a good way around that. Now, if we take their board wipe, they only have 1 turn. So 2 split ups. Why did they have to have 2? Okay, well now we know about it, so we can be careful. I think I play this untapped, and now they have interesting choices. We didn't want to lose life because we want them to choose tapped or untapped. But yeah, our Raise the Past is dead. They can use a split up here, but they're going to go very low on life. Why didn't they play the Anchorage? It's a good blocker. Okay, is that enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever we gain life, they lose. 5, 6. Beautiful. And 1 more life gain to finish the job. The double split up was defeated. A double day of judgment would have done the job, huh? We've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop. Like, keep. So do I save this? I think I do. As much as I would just love to gain 1 life right away, the idea that you can play this on turn 3, get multiple triggers, play the Channeler is really good. Gorehound, okay. This is a graveyard deck as well. Let's get the encampment down. Where do we begin? I think I will begin with Essence Channeler because next turn I can give it flying and vigilance with the Godless Shrine being shocked in, as they say. Vengeful Blood Witch. This is going to be a pretty wild game. They're going to try to fill their graveyard and get a bunch of sacrifice triggers. Oh, man. They're not going to block with the Blood Witch. This is the last turn I can play the Courtyard untapped, and I think we have to do it. And that's fine, because they're not going to block. And it means next turn they don't know the Channeler will fly, but it will. All right. Guided by Light. Warped. First life gain trigger. Amalia. Life gain trigger. Trigger. Do I want that? Yeah, I want that. 4. Beautiful. Unfortunately, no card draw. Not quite enough life gained, but we'll work on it. We'll get better. This is the card I think we have to play next turn, right? To get a life gain trigger. I told you they wouldn't block. Sephiroth. Good card. Dangerous. Not as scary when we can also gain life. This is gonna be a proper battle. You gotta love it. Let's play this first. Life gain. Trigger. The Rune Lurker Bat. Do I want you in my hand? How do you fare with my next turn? Pretty good. We could dig to try to get closer, but I do need a life gain source, and that is one. So do we make this fly? They're not going to block it. They're not going to block either one of these, right? No. They're not going to block them. The life to... Ah! Well, it doesn't matter. They would have blocked that one anyway. If they had blocked the Essence Channeler, that was the thing that could have been flying and vigilant. Okay. Looks like they're trying to set up a Raise the Past, which is not great for us. But it does mean Sephiroth gone. We like that. Okay, we want to get that Zealot. Like, what to Shelter by Ghost is usually Sephiroth, but it's probably Servandum here. That's the removal. If I'm playing the Shelter by Ghost, do I want to play the Cleric? I want to play the Cleric first. Let's go. That's a life gain. That's a drain. I mean, they probably just block with the Zealot. How do we actually make sure we gain life here? That goes to 3. Ugh! It's close. It's close. How do I actually hit them? If I put the Shelter by Ghost here, they're definitely going to block sack. I don't gain any life, so I have to target the Zealot. And if I put it here, this will be a 3/3 when the Zealot leaves, and they can just block it. So it has to be here. It has to target the Zealot, or they'll just play the sacrifice game. Do I want to offer them the trade? No, I don't. They go to 10. We gain enough to definitely do some triggering. And now next turn this can fly if it's still around. Servandum does say his power on 4 is greater. Destroy a non-land permanent. If it dies. Okay, another Sephiroth. But I think they're dead next turn. It's close. But yeah, we're not blocking, and I'm pretty sure I got him here. Now that flies. This is an exemplar of light. Drain, 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 draw. And I got a bat. We just need one more point and we got there. The point for the cleric, though, also could have done the job. Amazing. Flying very much works. Oh my gosh, we go first and we've got a lot of ways to gain life. I love this hand. This is going to be sparkly. Where do you start? I think you start with the bat. It's evasive. I don't really need a life gain this turn, but I do next turn. But then next turn we'll have options like playing Sanctifier and this, but you want to get the Amalia down first. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the mix of critters you're looking for. Now the important part. What is our opponent playing? Red. Orzhov specifically. Gotta watch out for Shelter by Ghosts. But I think we just get the Amalia down and go to work. Yeah, that's a lot of life gain. We want all the life gain we can find. A big reason that life gain decks are still popular in this meta and a lot of metas on Magic Arena through history is because of red decks. They match up well with red decks. Does the opponent have turn 2 Shelter by Ghost for Amalia? No, but they have Lightning Helix. We're gonna have to pay some life for that, but it breaks even. And now let's get some life gain going. So we play you. That's life. And you, also life. White mana, pay 2 life. But then you, also life. And 1 more life. And we get to draw. What are these claws gonna do? So Screaming Nemesis is the card that shuts a lot of our deck down. So we need to get as much out of our plays before Screaming Nemesis is possible, but the opponent doesn't have Screaming Nemesis. They have Gloria, the Great Armorer, a Spider Hero, something spiders. So there's a 2/3. It hits. They get to exile a card, but they can't play it this turn, and that's what we needed. But I think we'll start with the card draw because I am a blue mage in my heart, and getting to draw cards like this is so fun. And if they don't solve it, we'll just draw more and more and more cards and outvalue them while keeping the life total high. So usually they'd love to use their burn spells to win the game. Here they kind of have to use them to keep us from running away with the game. Emberheart Challenger, very good with Gloria. When I built this deck, I was like, I would love to use Emberheart Challenger and Gloria. But my mouse never lived. I mean, they're going in there, and they got a Lightning Helix. That's kind of a perfect flip. There is no question. You can't draw it up better than that. And we go to 13. And look at the exile pile. Okay. Gain. We need this thing to be so huge. And then when they play a Shelter by Ghost, it'll hurt extra bad. So I think I'm playing Shelter by Ghost elsewhere so that I have a huge Essence Channeler and a Bunny. But if I play it on the Rabbit, like, here's the thing. If they draw Shelter by Ghost, I lose anyway. I think they might have already played it, but let's make them have it, I guess. That means putting it on the Chandler. And then we take the thing that can get too big, which is the Challenger. And if they have their own Shelter by Ghost, it's gonna break my heart. There's no question. Oh? Do we block? That's a lot of lifelink. But I don't think we do. We're at 15. I think we take it. Hope they don't flip it. Exiling. That is a spider, and that's a burst lightning. Burst lightning doesn't get it done. Unless they needed the damage. Hey, damage can't be prevented. Creatures have riot. Stuff can't be countered. But if they don't win the game here, how are they going to beat the Essence Chandler? They remove one bunny. They pass. It's a get lost. That's pretty good. I think I get this off the board so that the Chandler can hit. If it can block, I mean, I know that if there was like a way to Boros Charm it, right, for double strike, that would solve the Chandler problem. And let's hold back the Sanctifier. It might just want to chump block to make absolutely sure we don't die here somehow. And that's probably the big swing. Let's see. Because they still have a lot of cards. They've seen a lot of cards. And they just keep attacking. $17-5. What's the play? Okay, Helix the bunny. There it is. They got it. Oh my God, they got it. That's why you play that way. What do we have to draw? We have to draw our own Shelter by Ghosts again. All right, we have to stop drawing land. Is that good enough? Let's find out. I think we're short. My gosh, that was close. That was so close. They can't block. It's over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just power up the Sanctuary. You got it. Just attack. Just attack. They might miss it. I mean, they opened up the possibility of missing it. All right, they're just fidgeting. I don't need to wait for that.